The years go by. In the cottage on Carr Fell, Anna Brigmore and Mary Peel bring up the Mallen girl, the daughter of Barbara Farrington and Thomas Mallen, in ignorance of her mother's tragedy and her father's true identity. Mr. and Mrs. Bensham are living at Highbanks Hall. Young Barbara has grown up with their children, John, Dan, and Kate. Miss Brigmore is their governess. At the remote Wolfbur farm, Constance Radlett raises her son Michael in the shadow of the double tragedy of her husband Donald and her lover Matthew Radlett. Michael's illegitimacy is her secret. Jim Waite and his sister Sarah work on the farm. Michael Radlett and Barbara Mallen have not met since they were children.
Barbara, wake up. Wake up. I'm here.
It's all right, pet. Here. It's nothing. It's nothing.
You were dreaming a bad dream.
The old man with white in his hair. Who is it?
No one. There is no one like that. It was a dream.
Dream?
Yes,
It was only a bad dream. My, what a twist she's got herself into.
Are you feeling better now? Are you all right?
Yes.
She's all right now that old Mary's with her. Aren't you, pet? I'll sit with her for a while, miss.
I want to talk to you. Say goodnight to her.
Now sleep tight and no more bad dreams.
I will leave the door open. Good night, Barbara. God bless you.
Was I shouting?
Yes. You have said something to her.
I never. You know I'd never say anything.
Yes. All right. But why did she dream about him again? I've done everything I can to keep the truth from her. When she was a little child, I used to pray that she would never hear the truth. I believe, Mary, our prayers are always answered, but in such a way that we never ask again. How does she know he had white in his hair?
Don't go on so, miss.
I've never let her meet anyone I couldn't trust. I haven't taken her to Wolf, but since she was a little girl. God knows if Constance said something to her then.
She swore she never.
How could I believe her?
Anyway, it was all years ago.
We were bound to go our different ways.
Perhaps it was Squire Mallen himself. Perhaps he wants her to know.
Oh, very likely that. After such a long time. How can you say such a thing? God knows he harms her and she only dreams about him. Can you imagine what the truth would do?
Michael! Michael!
Sharp out. I think I'd rather stay at home with you.
Oh, it's St. Valentine's Day. You go and enjoy yourself.
I'll go because Michael's going.
You call me, Mum.
Come and try your jacket on. Keep still. There now. Stand up straight.
Oh, he looks as fine as a gentleman.
I wish you'd wear it as if it belonged to you.
Think of it, Michael. All the girls in the village will want to dance with you.
I might not want to dance with them.
You'll meet a young lady, and she'll be your Valentine. I said you'd meet a young lady, and she'd be your Valentine.
What you gonna wear, Connie Peck?
Doesn't matter.
Hey, you might meet an old gentleman, and he'll be your Valentine.
Take your jacket off.
The people from the hall might be there.
The Benchams.
Right. And the vicar.
I don't want to meet anyone.
I shouldn't think many people want to go out on a day like this.
You go and tell Jim and Sarah to start getting ready.
Aye,
What if the Benchams are there?
They don't know anything.
And Miss Brigmore? What if she's there? She could tell Michael the truth. She would. She'd do it for his own good.
Connie Pat.
She could make him despise me. She could take his love from me.
Oh, no. No, they can't do any such thing. It's so long ago.
The truth doesn't grow old, man. It's all right. Miss Brigmore won't go out on a day like this.
Come on, round the corner. Ready? Now, round the last little bit. Upstairs. Now, Kitty, one step at a time. Oh, 1, 2. Come along. I'm painting your time. You look.
I didn't.
No, she didn't there. Now, 3 steps to go. 1, 2, 3. Let's make her really dizzy. Now, 2 paces forward. 1, 2. 1 pace to the left. Stop. Now, we're ready.
The first person that I see, my true Valentine will be. Here. Hey, what time are we leaving?
Hey, Dad, you're my Valentine.
Oh.
Where's my present?
Yeah, I thought it'd cost me something. There. No, don't forget. You're taking me to the station.
A halfpenny.
Barbara! Who was the first person you saw this morning, today? She doesn't count.
Will not my sighs to pity move thee? Say that thou wilt be mine, and bless the heart that fondly loves thee, and be my Valentine.
Roses are red, violets are blue. If I said you were handsome, it wouldn't be true.
Good morning, John. Good morning, Kate. Good morning, Daniel.
Miss Brigmore. Miss Brigmore.
Is this for me? What a surprise.
To Miss Grey hairs. Old maids fade away, and for a lover pine. So you will spend this happy day without a Valentine. Thank you, Daniel. I recognize your hand. Mr. Bentham, come down here.
He's in the drawing room. Oh, Lord, I hope she isn't going to show it to him. I told her she wouldn't like it.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It's only fun. Oh, come on, let's get ready to go.
Yes, come on.
Where are you going?
To the village.
There's going to be dancing and games.
You're coming with us, Barbara. Well, didn't you ask the brigadier?
Well, she won't let me go.
Go and ask her now.
Oh, she never lets me go anywhere.
You won't know until you try.
It's like Valentine's Day. You find out if you're going to be married this year.
What did you say, Kate?
You go into the church, you kneel down, and you say 3 times, "Tomorrow is come." And then you see your future husband. Now go on, hurry.
Am I allowed to go with the others?
Barbara, you do not walk into a room without being asked, nor do you speak without being spoken to first.
Hey, never mind, lass. What do you want? To go with them? Aye. Off you
No, Mr. Bentham. No, you may not go with them. I said you may not go.
Why can't she go with them? No harm will come to her. Our John will look after her.
Thank you, Mr. Bentham. I'm sorry, Barbara. It's for your own good.
You know what you are, don't you?
There'll be a lot of local people there. You forget she can see what people are saying.
Ah, yes, you're always right. I ought to know that by now, but I can't help hoping. Mind you, somebody else might have told the girl about herself years ago. She'd have learned to live with it, like she'd lived with going deaf when she was a child.
There's no shame in deafness, Mr. Bentham.
She's out to be ashamed of, Miss Brigmore, even if other folk have.
I have to protect her from finding out what she is.
What she is? What the devil does it matter what she is?
That she's illegitimate. That her father raped her mother and then killed himself, and that her poor mother virtually did the same thing.
All that matters is that you love her, right?
I think I may say that I love Barbara.
Oh, come out of your stays, woman. Of course you love her. We all love her, don't we?
I can't.
Oh,
say
stop
that.
mithering. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
In all the
I'm
years
sorry.
that-
Briggy, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm worried. Will you sit down? Please, please sit down. I was talking about the mill. Well, our John will come into it next year, take some of the weight off my shoulders. But it's, Tilda. She won't see a doctor.
What's the matter with her?
Well, she won't tell me. I'm not supposed to know about it, but she'll tell you.
Yes, I will go and talk to her.
Ah, good. You've taught us all a thing or two over the years. Aye!
If you want to lift to the station, you better come now. We're leaving.
A lot of my teaching seems to have been in vain.
Yep. I'm off to Manchester.
Yes, I will go and talk to Mrs. Bentham.
Aye. Smile at her, even if you can't at me. Right, Rookie. What you laughing at? Hey, what's so funny?
I know they laugh at me. I don't mind as long as they do what I tell them. They call me the Brigadier. They're grown up now.
Ah, none of us are getting any younger. You haven't changed, though.
I assure you, Mrs. Bensham, the years have affected me as much as anyone else.
You're not worn out.
Aren't you feeling well?
We used to get up at 5, Mum and us kids. I was working in the mill when I was 11. I got wed when I was 18. John, Dan, Katie, I was still working. I was worn out before I got started.
Is it bad, the pain? You should see a doctor. Might be nothing serious.
Oh, lass. I thought that I'd see a doctor. Here, you smiled.
You called me lass.
I wasn't thinking.
No, I appreciate it. But you should see a doctor. It would put people's minds at rest, Mrs. Bensham.
Why don't you call me Matilda? Go on. Nobody ever calls me Matilda.
You're my employer. It wouldn't be right. But if it makes any difference, over the years, I have come to think of you as Matilda.
And Harry? Do you think of him as Harry?
Good heavens, no, I don't think of Mr. Bensham at all.
He thinks a lot of you. A lot. I don't want to worry Harry by having the doctor.
You worry him more if you don't.
You called him Harry.
I will make the arrangements for you.
Tomorrow is come, tomorrow is come, tomorrow is come.
Jim!
Come in. Come on, be me, silly. I'm your brother. Come on, silly Sarah.
I'm not silly. You'll see.
Aye, well, as you're the first girl I've seen today, Sarah, will you be my Valentine?
You've got to kiss her now.
Oh, you kissing, is it? You take care, my...
It's all right today, Mrs. Radley.
It's only Sarah. Aye. Aye, well, we'd better be off. Will you be all right, Gran?
Oh, I've been on me own before. Off you all go, have a good time.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go and fetch the brake round to the door.
What have you done to yourself?
Is it awful?
Oh, it's fine.
Oh, Peg, you look just like you did the day Donald brought you here the first time.
Donald. My father.
Aye, Donald. be with you.
Let the feast commence.
The lady there used to live at Highbanks Hall.
I believe she did. Now she resides at Wolf.
Married?
A widow.
Where have you been?
See you.
Barbara, did you do it?
Who
did you see?
Oh, she's not supposed to tell anyone.
Oh, you don't know.
Let's go with the girls.
Everyone wants to know about true love. Try the gypsy pellets of love. The floating pellet colour will tell you if you're true love. 1 penny for 4 pellets. Throw them into the water. If the pellet is blue, your love will be true. If the pellet is red, there's danger ahead. If the pellet be yellow, it's not the right colour. If the pellet be white, love's not yet in sight. Take them in your hand, my child, and cast them into the water, and see which one comes floating to the top. It is a red pellet. There is danger, my child.
Miss Farrington. Miss Constance Farrington. I'm Patrick Ferrier.
Patrick Ferrier.
From Burndale Manor. You must remember, I used to call on you when you were at Highbanks.
I knew Mr. Ferrier 20 years ago. This is my son, Michael.
I don't believe it. Excuse me?
Miss Mallen? Miss Mallen? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I thought you were someone else. My name's Michael Radlett.
My name is Barbara Mallen. You're my cousin Michael.
Why didn't you answer?
You must always look at me when you speak, because I'm deaf.
You and me, we are cousins.
I'm deaf, but I'm not an idiot.
Oh, Verger. Mr. Have you got a moment? There's some gypsies in town. I don't want them coming into church. Oh, they won't touch anything in here, Mr. Whitfield.
No, not him.
Miss Mallen. Miss Mallen, this is me mother.
Aunt Constance.
So you're the Mallen girl. She hasn't got the Mallen streak.
I didn't recognize you. It's a long time since I last saw you. Is Miss Brigmore with you?
I came to ask you for a dance.
I can't see what you're saying.
Would you like to dance? Who gave you that? Do you remember when we were young?
Where's Barbara? She said she was going with her aunt.
She can't do that. The Brigadier will be waiting for her. It will be enough trouble as it is.
I told her that. She wouldn't listen.
It's her fault.
No, I can't make it.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
I asked her because she said she wanted to see Woodford.
Right, Michael.
We cannot leave her here now, can we?
But what about her friends?
Gun!
Where's Barbara? Where's Barbara? She went with you, didn't she?
We're sorry, Miss Brigmore. We know we shouldn't have taken her.
Where is she now?
She met Mrs. Radcliffe and her son.
What?
She's gone back with him. Where is it then?
Wolf Farm. They're going to see her home.
She was in your charge.
She's with her aunt.
She was in your charge.
Barbara's not in anyone's charge. She does what she likes.
It's true, Briggy. We tried to stop her. You know what she does when she won't listen.
If you hadn't taken her with you, this would never have happened.
They seem perfectly respectable people. She was excited about meeting them. They asked her to go with them.
Did Mrs. Radcliffe ask her?
I suppose so.
No, her cousin did. Mrs. Radcliffe was talking to someone else.
I think their farm is on the...
I know where Wolfer Farm is.
They are her relations, aren't they?
I'll go and fetch her myself. Will one of you please order the pony and trap to be brought round at once?
I'll go.
I'll get ready. You don't know what you've done.
I feel rather sorry for Barbara.
I don't. What for?
For having the Brigadier instead of a mother.
I feel rather sorry for Briggy.
Barbara.
Barbara.
Ma'am.
She was all right when she was a child.
I remember. What could have happened?
I don't know. Miss Brigmore never told me.
Why did you stop bringing her here?
They're very beautiful. Did my mother ever see them?
Why, I bet she saw them. She was a bonny lass, too.
Did she look like Aunt Constance?
Oh, no, my dear.
What did my father look like? I never saw him.
I never knew your father.
He was very tall and dark.
I can't read you. Miss Brigmore says he was young and good-looking.
What was his name? What was his name?
Robert Mallen. Have you forgotten, Aunt Constance?
Yes, I'd forgotten.
It is God that made her so she could not hear.
God and Miss Brigmore.
Miss Brigmore used to be your governess, didn't she?
Yes, when we lived at the home. It's time she went home. Go and tell Jim to get the brake ready.
Or I'll take them up.
It's a dangerous road.
Ah, Jim's tired after
Shall
all.
I go myself?
May I go and see outside? The moon's shining. Michael, I'll dance with you now. You asked me to dance. I'll dance with you now.
Michael, what do you think you're doing? Miss Brigmore.
Well, Constance. Is Barbara here? Get your coat. We're leaving at once.
When did she become deaf?
When she was 12.
You never brought her here again? You never even told me.
She can lip read.
I haven't said anything, Miss Brigmore. Not even when she announced that her father's name was Robert Mallen.
I couldn't tell her the truth. Could you tell your son the truth? Could you tell him that he was illegitimate?
No. He mustn't know. I didn't invite her here. They recognized each other, and I couldn't say no without a reason.
Do you believe in fate? Donald and Matthew were going to fetch her that day. They must not meet again.
No. How's Mary Peel?
She doesn't improve.
Barbara has the Farrington looks.
No, she's a Mallen.
So am I. I married Donald.
Have you thought of marrying again?
I thought about it. Unfortunately, you weren't here to advise me.
I didn't come to see you. I didn't want to see you. I came to fetch Barbara.
Mum? Mum, what's the matter? Well, did you quarrel with her? Is that why she stopped bringing Barbara here?
That's enough for one day, Michael.
I It's not Barbara's fault.
And you can stop thinking about her.
Why?
Because she was brought up in another world. Well, you saw how the Benchams treated her. She practically lives at the Hall. It isn't fair, but that's how it is.
You mean she's a Mallen? And I'm only a Radler?
Never be ashamed of what you are. You have as much right to live at Highbanks as anyone. Listen, Michael. Your grandfather was Thomas Mallen. Listen. Gran married Mr. Radlett after your father was born. He was a Mallen. The Squire accepted him as his son. So you needn't think yourself inferior to anyone.
And it's all right for me to go on seeing Barbara. If we're both
No,
Mallens,
Michael, never say that again. You must never meet her again. Look, I know Miss Brigmore. She'll never let her out of her sight. Michael. I don't want you to be hurt. It's late now. Good night, Michael.
Where have you been? Barbara, I thought you were stopping the night at the Hall. Where have you been?
Put some wood on the fire, Mary Pugh. She's been to Wolfborough. I went to fetch her.
Wolfborough? What on earth did you go up there for?
I haven't talked to her. It was too dark for her to see. Tell me. I'm tired. Tell me what happened today and you may go to bed.
I went to the Valentine party.
But I
Mr.
said-
Bencham said I could.
Where?
The Bencham children took her to the fair of the church. Constance must have seen her there.
I saw Michael.
Did she ask you to go to Wolfborough?
Yes.
What did you do there?
Nothing. I danced with Michael in the barn.
That sounds very childish.
Oh. What's the Mallen streak?
Who told you about that?
A man was talking to Aunt Constance.
It's of no importance. A long time ago, the men in your family used to have a white streak in their hair.
Like the man in my dream.
You probably heard somebody speak of it when you were a child. You may go upstairs now.
When can I see Michael again?
No.
Why can't I see him?
Because I say so.
Well, that's no reason. He's my cousin and I want to see him.
Barbara, please control yourself.
I will see him, I will. Could you always say no? I can't do anything. You won't let me do anything!
Calm down.
I will see him! I will! I escaped. I told Miss Brigmore I was going riding with John.
I found your letter. What made you think of meeting here? 9 Banks Peel. 9 Banks Peel. What have you been doing since the fair? Been dancing, have you?
I'm sorry I'm deaf. I can't help it. Oh, don't pity me, Michael. What did your mother say about me?
She doesn't know I'm here. She thinks I'm away to Hexham. If you hadn't sent a letter by the carrier the first time, we'd never have written and met like this, would we? We'd never have seen each other again. Didn't you understand? My mum thinks I'm in Hexham. She doesn't...
Write it down.
Hexham.
Your mother's gone to Hexham.
I know. She thinks I have. Barbara, she doesn't want me to see you anymore. She hates you for some
Look,
reason.
write it down. Michael, unless you talk properly, I can't read you.
I mean, I don't talk like you at all. I don't. Yes, you're right.
Why? Why does she hate me? What have I done to make her hate me? Why? Michael.
It's my fault.
Doesn't matter if she hates me. You don't hate me. I'll learn to read you. I will. If I was blind instead of deaf, I could feel what you were saying. I can read you best when you don't say anything. You've only kissed your mother.
Aye. And others.
I've kissed John Bensham. Didn't mean anything. Oh, you kissed the girl that danced.
Sarah. That didn't mean anything either.
Who?
Sarah.
Sarah.
That's right.
Am I prettier than her?
I cannot hear ya! I hate Sarah!
Northumberland. Bloody hell. I never thought I'd look on Manchester weather with affection.
Dad, what am I going to do? John and Dan are going into the mill. But what am I going to do?
I don't know, lass. But I asked Miss Brigmore.
Oh, she says ladies don't do anything. I asked her why I had to learn history and geography if I wasn't going to do anything. So that I might do it well.
You never win with that woman. What do you want to do, Katie?
Get up at 5 in the morning, feed the kids, go to the factory.
Young Street? You're worried about your mam, aren't you? So am I.
I can remember Hume Street.
No, you can't. Kids' memories are like sticks of barley sugar. They're sweet right through.
Look, anyway, Dad, I'd like to go and live in Manchester all the time.
Well, what about the people here? What about Barbara and Briggy?
I'll tell you something about Briggy. She's never forgiven us for being Benshams and not Mallens. She's tried hard enough to make us Mallens. She's always telling me to be more like Barbara. Well, she's right, Dad. Barbara belongs here and I don't.
Now, I'll tell you something. Since the beginning of the year, Briggy's been looking after your mam and the rest of us like she was one of the family. And she isn't getting paid anymore for doing it either. She's doing it for love.
The Brigadier?
Aye.
She loves Barbara Mallen.
Ah, now, don't be jealous, Katie. You don't have to be. You're a lady, whether you like it or not, thanks to Briggy. And your mam and me wouldn't have it out else. Oh, you can go to Manchester in the summer, if it ever comes.
Oh, Dad. Oh, Mum, you shouldn't come down.
Nonsense, Kate. Your mother and I were going for a walk. But the weather...
I'll go and talk to Barbara.
That's very good of you. She's gone riding with John.
She's always riding with John.
Kate wants to go and live in Manchester.
She's restless like Dan.
I said she could go in the summer. Well, our John will be there. We may even go ourselves.
I like to see John settle down.
He's very good with Barbara. And of course she enjoys his company. I didn't know he was going away so soon.
It's not Timbuktu. There's trains go there and the natives speak a bit of English. I mean, they can go on seeing each other if they want to.
Thank you.
We must think about the future. Go on, Harry, tell her.
Tell her what?
About the future. We've been talking about it for years. We want to do something for you. In return for
yes,
all
thank
you
you, Tilda. Briggy? There's a sum of money. Now, no argument.
Oh, no, I
No,
couldn't
no,
accept
please,
anything
please,
after all
Briggy,
what
no
John asked.
argument. Tilda and I thought £3,000 ought to do it. And that's settled.
Oh, Mrs. Bensham, that is far too much money.
Oh, don't say any more. That's a good lass. He doesn't know, does he?
No, I'm sure he doesn't.
You see, he won't know what to do without me. Oh, I'm glad the children are grown up and all. They'll make their own ways, but Harry's so used to me being here. I don't know what he'll do. I don't know where he'll go without me.
You want me to stay here, don't you? To keep things as they are?
Yes, I do.
There was no need for the money. I would have done it for your sake. But thank you. Thank you for my independence, Matilda.
Sarah.
Where was Michael up to?
I don't know, he didn't tell me.
Away to Hexham, please, Mum.
What again? What did he go there for this time?
He said he was away at the library for a book. He likes reading, doesn't he, Mum?
Radley? There's a gentleman to see you. He won't drive up because the beasts are in the yard. He gave me this.
Read it, Sarah.
Patrick Ferrier, Esquire.
Oh, no. He mustn't come in. Run and tell Mr. Ferrier. What shall I tell him?
Well, tell him you're putting your bonnet on and you'll be out in a minute. Sarah, quickly,
Right,
run upstairs, fetch Mrs. Radlett's bonnet.
Why today when I'm in the middle of baking and Michael's not here?
He doesn't want to see Michael.
What shall I say to him, Mum? I mean, look at me. I can't go up like this.
Of course you can, Pet. Take your apron. Here. Right. That's it.
only looking funnier than ever. Off you go. Let's have a good time.
It looks like they're going for a ride, Miss Carriage.
Oh.
Do you think they'll get married?
Oh, your head is full of nonsense.
I'd forgotten. We don't often leave the hills.
I can tell that. All the years I've been in India, I missed this most of all. And winter.
Yes, it's been a long winter. Why did you go there, Patrick?
To make my fortune. I've enough to keep up Burndale when my father's gone.
I liked Burndale.
You remember it from the old days. Most of the land's been sold. I doubt if it's as big as Wolfburn now.
Wolfbur's just a farm.
You want to build a decent house down in the shelter of the valley and call it Wolfbur Grange.
I will one day. For Michael when he gets married.
Why not for you, Constance? You were never meant to be a farmer's wife.
I'm a widow with a grown son.
You were, until we met again.
What am I now, Patrick?
A girl in spring.
Patrick.
Barbara, stop it. What did I do wrong?
You said, when do you open your boat?
No, but you weren't watching. When do you get to your cottage?
Why don't you say something interesting?
Well, that's your fault. All you showed me was cottage, meat together, when, eating, and stupid. That's your favourite word, isn't it? Stupid.
Yes.
Well, you're stupid,
Yes.
not me.
Yes,
You
Michael,
cannot
yes.
understand me.
Yes,
Well,
Michael,
what?
yes,
Show
yes.
me.
No.
Show me. How do I say I love you?
I don't believe it.
We were all in love with you.
William Headley may have been
Oh,
a little.
don't put me second to Headley.
Patrick, it was a long time ago.
Have I changed so much?
I don't understand.
I didn't shout about it then, and I shan't now. I was in love with you. Now, we can both go on as we are. Me getting older, you getting prettier. Me at Burndale, you at Wolfbur. Or we can put them together.
There's Michael.
He's still a boy.
No.
He'll probably want to be off on his own. Where will you be then?
I hadn't thought of that.
While you were being a mother, you forgot you were a woman.
Did not forget.
Oh, funny.
Patrick, I can't just...
No. I was a fool to think it. Come on, I'll drive you back to Wolf. No. Damn it, I'm going to ask you anyway. You'll say no, and that will be the end of it.
Patrick, don't.
Are you going to marry me, Connie?
Where's Miss Barbara? What? I was certain she'd be here. Oh. Well, we'll just have to wait for her.
Where do you think she is? Whatever's happened, miss?
Barbara has disgraced herself. And me. I can't put it any less strongly than that, I'm afraid. She told me she was going to spend the afternoon with Mrs. Whitfield.
Shall I put the kettle on for her?
No, I've had tea. We were having tea when Mr. Whitfield brought his mother to the hall to visit poor Mrs. Bensham. Barbara had never even been there. It was humiliating. Oh, luckily, John Bensham wasn't there. I'm sure that Kate will tell him.
What did they do?
They laughed, Mary. They laughed at me. They knew where she was. She has no secrets from them, only from me. But not any longer. When she didn't return to the hall, I knew where she'd gone. To Wolfber Farm.
Never!
Oh, yes, Mary. I couldn't believe it. But Kate as good as told me that she was meeting Michael Radlett secretly. Now, how do they arrange that?
She'd never have gone to Wolfber Farm. You said Constance didn't want them meeting anymore.
That's what you pretended. I'm terrified that they'll talk about the past while she's watching.
I'm sure she hasn't gone over there.
Thank you, Mary. I'm afraid we can't trust her anymore. The boy isn't even Donald's son. He's not a Mallen.
When she comes in, miss, you'll not say anything to hurt her, will you? I'm late because I walked from the hall. When I got back there, you'd gone.
You must never go out alone again at night.
It's better than day. On the fell, it was so still. I knew there was no sound.
Have your supper. I want to talk to you.
Don't hurt her mind.
I'll try not to, but she must learn to speak the truth. Where did you go today, Barbara? Where did you go?
Go on, pet, tell her.
You went to Wolfber to see Michael Radlett. Tell me the truth. Tell me the truth.
Michael.
You're making a fool of yourself. You're throwing away your chances. You could be mistress of Highbanks. Ever since you were born, that has been my hope for you. To marry John Bensham and to live at the Hall, where your mother lived, and which should be yours by rights. The Benshams expect it. They treat you like a daughter. Mary Peel and I have given our lives so that you can be a lady with your own small fortune. You are our daughter. You must not throw all this away. Michael Radlett is a farmer's son. You must not make the same mistake as your Aunt Constance, or you will pay the same price. A life of regret.
I didn't ask for life. I can't help it.
Mother does die. I'm never coming back to this house.
It would be as bad wherever we were. We must keep together for Dad's sake. He could live in Manchester. He bought this place for us, to get away from the grime and the smoke he knew, and we can't get away from it fast enough. Is she still meeting her cousin? Yes. Why do you do it?
Gets me out of the house?
You're misleading Briggy.
Briggy keeps her locked up, hoping for something that's never going to happen. I can set her free occasionally.
Dan's jealous of the farmer's boy. Dan loves Barbara.
I don't love her. I'm sorry for her. She's got little enough in this world.
You lie for her. You care for her and the boy loves her. I should have thought that was enough.
Katie, she never even saw her mother.
Go on, boy. Go on, come on.
Oh, look, there's Mike.
Come on.
Work on.
Because it's March.
I know that, Miss Brigmore, but why don't we have a fire in here in March?
We don't.
Did some old general lay it down that it was good for children to be cold in spring?
To some old brigadier, you mean? No, Kate. I lay it down myself. The east wind blows the smoke back down the chimney. You can hear it. I've lived at High Banks a great deal longer than you have. When I was governess to the Miss Farringtons, that's Barbara's mother and her aunt. This was the squire's room. Some lovely things in here. Pictures. His collection of snuff boxes, family heirlooms. Of course, Barbara has everything that was left.
We've met Barbara's aunt. She married a farmer, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
And if you were all so great, why did she marry a farmer?
Well, we weren't very great then. Donald Radlett had the appearance of a gentleman. Wolfbur is quite extensive.
But not extensive enough for Barbara.
What do you mean by that?
Miss Brigmore, we're not children anymore.
Is she still seeing him? Kate, tell me. Is she
not
still
today?
seeing
No,
him?
John was
Please
with
tell
her.
me. I must know. Is she still seeing
I'm
him?
sorry I said anything.
Excuse me, miss. Miss Kate's wanted upstairs sharp. It's Mrs. Bensham.
Oh, no, no.
Better go up. She may need you. Where's Barbara?
Oh, Briggy,
John!
no, please!
Barbara, we're done with you! Where is she? Please! You shouldn't wait for me. Mrs. Bensham died this afternoon. Everyone was here except you. You will not meet him again. I will. Go home. I will stay here tonight. I will meet Michael. I will marry Michael. If I cannot marry Michael, I will die.
Do you know him?
No, I don't think so.
His name's Ferrier. He said he'd been here before.
There was a Sir Patrick Ferrier, Burndale Manor. He had a son the girls used to know him. I didn't recognize him.
What sort of a fellow is he?
A gentleman?
I know that. It says so on his card. Do you think he's after our Kate?
I've no idea. But whatever it is, there's nothing to worry about.
We'll all be leaving here. Our John's going into the mill a year early. Kate and Dan want to be away, and I'm not staying on my own.
What am I going to do?
In there, lass, don't cry. I never want to see you cry. I want you to come and live here at Highbanks. You and Barbara. And then when any of us wants to spend some time here, it'll be like coming home.
Barbara and I? To live here?
Aye. Well, I can't think of anyone with more right than you and Barbara. Now, if you'll excuse me.
I'd build a house here.
Is this your land?
No, I thought it was Wolfbur.
No. We lease 2 fields on this side of the hills to grow hay.
We could buy the land. Hay? Whoever thought little Connie Farrington from Highbanks would know anything about hay? Did he leave a lot of money? Squire Mallen, your uncle.
What did you hear when you were in India?
The only news you get out there is who's dead. The Squire, Dick Mallen, your sister.
And I inherited everything.
Didn't you?
My sister had a daughter. You met her.
The Mallen girl, but she lives in a tiny cottage with her governess.
And I live at Wolfbur.
That's right.
I didn't inherit anything.
It was bad luck.
Patrick Wolfbur belongs to Michael.
It was your husband's.
No, it belonged to his half-brother. He gave it to him before he died on condition he gave it to Michael. Wolfbur isn't mine, Patrick. It's Michael's. Do you still want to marry me?
I can't offer you anything.
What about your estate?
When my father dies, it will go to pay his debts. And that still leaves mine. When you start thinking about it, you won't want to marry me.
Haven't I been thinking about it?
No, Connie. Not with your head. I'm sorry. No harm done?
No harm.
Ow! Why?
You stopped sending letters.
Well, it's easy enough for you. You haven't got a mother and a grandmother and a farm and a gym and a Sarah. I'm not free like you.
Oh, I'm not free. I don't care. I love you. If you loved me, you'd meet me.
I'm meeting you.
Say it again.
It doesn't matter.
I hate your mother. I love you.
I don't want to hurt her. Meeting that man was the best thing that happened. I hope she weds him. God, I hope she does.
I can hear your heart, Michael. You listen to my heart.
See if I can finish.
Are you tired, Mum?
Oh, a little bit.
You should stop working.
Oh, you should stop. Now you're going to marry Mr. Berry.
I will, ma'am. The farm has to go on and Michael's always off somewhere.
Oh, I never wished for anything more that one day you'd be happy. I thank God for your happiness.
Yes, ma'am.
And don't you worry about Michael. We'll look after him here. Oh, Pet, you were meant for our life. I remember the day Donald brought you here. You weren't meant for him.
I'll, just go and help Zara finish
off. Connie. Connie, I'm so happy.
Somebody's coming.
Oh, I don't want to see anybody.
Come in, Miss Brigmore.
Thank you, Constance. How is Mrs. Radcliffe?
She's all right. You're wearing black?
For Mrs. Bensham.
Yes, of course, I'd forgotten. Won't you sit down? Would you like a cup of tea?
Whatever I have to do, whatever I have to say, Barbara will not marry your son.
What?
She's told me herself. I know they've been meeting here.
They have not. She came here once by chance. You came to fetch her.
They've been meeting regularly since then. You didn't know? If not here, he's been out, come back late at night with some excuse. I thought you knew.
No. No, I don't want Michael to meet her.
They're talking about marrying each other.
That mustn't happen.
Indeed, it must not happen. Barbara's future is not here. It's at the Hall. We're going to live at the Hall. The family are going to Manchester, I expect, for the period of mourning, and they will return when John Bensham is free to marry. To marry Barbara. Do you understand that, Constance? Barbara will own the High Banks, her father's house. I'm not going to allow any Radley to ruin her life as one did yours.
Oh, God, Miss Brigmore, you ruined my life and my sister's, God knows.
Why did you say that?
You brought Uncle Thomas to the cottage. You slept with him, you were his mistress. You made me marry Donald.
And what has that to do with your sister? Barbara was a saint compared to you.
You let a dirty, drunken old man rape your saint.
I didn't. It was a mistake. It was a terrible tragedy. You weren't there. I was there. I gave him the gun. It was the right thing to do.
I'm sorry. It doesn't matter now. It's all in the past. What are we going to do about them?
You must tell Michael.
No.
That Barbara and he are related by blood. And
That's not the truth.
I have no conscience where her happiness is concerned. It is the truth.
Why don't you tell her?
I'll never do that.
Michael will tell her.
Not if he loves her. You must impress that on him. And make him swear if necessary. Because if he tells her what she is, I will tell him that he's illegitimate. There is everything to be lost and nothing to win by this relationship. You'll never imagine who was at the Hall today paying a lot of attention to Miss Kate Bensham. Remember Patrick Ferrier? Oh, my dear, there's something fatal about this place. Even the name. Ufba. Why don't you sell it? Leave the past behind you. Go somewhere new. You don't know what the future might hold for you.
Yes, Michael. Oh. Michael, listen to me, Michael. Barbara's father was Thomas Mallen.
No.
Your grandfather, yes. Michael, listen, believe me. He raped my sister, his only son. Then he killed himself.
None
Look,
of it
how
was
could we
true.
How could we tell her that? How could I tell you? Only now, to stop you thinking of her in a way that's a sin against God and a crime against nature. I love you, Michael.
Mary? Yes, miss?
I want Barbara to come up and get her things ready.
All right, I'll tell her. Here. She want you to go upstairs and get your things ready. Oh, go on, pet. I couldn't stand another hour.
No, I will not go to the hall. She won't let me go riding. She won't let me see Michael. She will. She will
go.
No! She won't let me out! Don't you? She won't.
She will. To come here. To come here and see me.
No.
Send me a letter for Michael by the carrier, and I'll see it gets put in a place. He will come here.
I love you, Mary.
I know off you go. And be a good
These things are for you, Mary. Oh, now, you've only yourself to blame. You can still come with us.
No, miss, I couldn't. There's a lot of new people up at the hall, and I'm used to the old cottage.
But you'll be entirely on your own. Oh, you can't imagine how happy I am to be leaving this place. Barbara, have you got everything you need? Just imagine you'll never be sleeping here again. Well, I suppose we can send over if there's anything that she wants. Mary. Goodbye, Mary.
Goodbye, miss.
Is Michael here?
so late.
Is he here?
No, Pat.
Well, has he been here?
No, he's not been here.
Did he put the letter in the right place?
Why, of course. I know it was the right place, because the last one was still there. I know why. It was Grandma Radlett dying.
That was 2 months ago. Oh, he could have sent a note. What's happened? Why doesn't he want to see me anymore?
How is Mary Peel?
Her back hurts.
I know all about her back. I think over the years I've suffered more from her back than she has.
She asked for some coal.
She has wood. Coal costs money. Wood comes from the estate. One day you'll be responsible for running High Banks yourself.
I'd give her everything she wanted.
What we want is not always good for us. I wondered if these visits are good for you. You're always very melancholy when you return from them. Melancholy at being sad. Is anything the matter, Barbara?
I'm not sad.
I expect we'll hear from the Benshams soon. I wonder if it's too early for you. Will you look at me, please, Barbara? I shall write to Mr. Bensham and suggest that you visit them in Manchester.
No.
Kate. And John, of course.
Where's Dan?
He was going abroad for a year. I don't know. Have you finished? Brooks!
Yes, Miss Bickmore.
Neither Miss Mallen nor I drink wine, and yet you open a bottle of port every evening. There's no need for it.
For God's sake, Sarah, will you give over?
I'm not doing anything.
Just keep still.
Trim the lamp, please, Michael.
Sarah can do it.
You told me to stay still. I asked you, Michael.
You can leave that for the morning.
Who'll do the milking?
Jim and Sarah.
Jim and Sarah have got their own work.
All right, I will.
When I want you to take over running the farm, Michael, I'll tell you.
Thought I told you to stop it.
I'm not doing it.
Just stop it!
Go to bed, Sarah.
I'm sorry, Mum.
You've got nothing to be sorry about. Just go to bed.
Yes, Mum. Night, Mum.
Good night, dear.
Night, Michael.
She's only a servant.
She's part of this family. What do you think we'd do without them now? Without a man like Jim? Where would I find somebody like that, Michael? Not you, if that's what you're thinking.
Why didn't you get married again, Mum? What happened to that man who used to come and take you out?
Don't talk to me like that.
I only asked you a question.
I'm your mother!
I'm sorry. sorry, no.
I don't want to lose you, Michael.
Won't you have some more, miss? Oh, no, thank you, Ellen.
Kate, my dear, when did you arrive?
5 o'clock, miss, in the station cart.
Thank you. I'll help myself. If you'd let me know, I'd have sent the carriage for you. Who's with you? Is it John?
Came by myself.
My dear girl, does your father know?
Yes, he told me to come and see you.
I'm delighted to see you. I wish you hadn't travelled on your own.
It was sudden.
I hope nothing's wrong. How is Mr. Bensham? And John?
They're all right. At the mill most of the time.
Have you heard from Daniel?
Miss Brigmore, you remember Mr. Ferrier? He kept calling on us in Manchester.
That's very polite. Would you like some more coffee?
He wants to marry me.
I congratulate you. Of course, you'll have to wait till you're out of mourning before you announce the engagement.
I didn't say I would.
What did you say?
I said I'd ask Dad.
And did you?
Yes, when he told me to come and see you.
I see. Kate, I must tell you, this is a very flattering proposal. I hope you haven't discouraged Mr. Ferrier. You know his father's a baronet. They're a very old family. They tend to be proud.
He's a bit old himself.
My dear, he paid you a very great compliment when he asked you to be his wife. I'm proud of you. I think your mother would have been proud of you, too.
All Mum would have said was, do you love him? And the answer's no.
Now listen to me, Kate. I'm talking very seriously now about things which happened in the past. Marriage, even marriage without love, gives you something to live for. Love. Love without marriage will ruin you and all those who love you.
Are you still in love with Michael?
I've lost Michael.
Lost?
I wrote and wrote, but he didn't answer. I tried to meet him, but he wasn't there.
Why?
Didn't get it.
I asked why.
Ask him why.
Perhaps he's in love with another girl.
I can't hear you.
Barbara, perhaps he is in love with another girl.
Can't hear.
Barbara. Michael, in love with another girl. Sorry.
Michael hates me. They made him hate me because I'm deaf.
Yes.
They shout at me.
only there a couple of months. How are you, Briggy? Oh, it's grand to be home.
Daniel, you've changed. You've grown in style.
He hasn't. Where is it? I can't see it, Briggy.
I thought you were going to stay abroad for a year.
Dad wants me to come back. Not when I'm right. Oh, by the way, he and John will be coming on Thursday with another guest. He told me to tell you.
Quite a family gathering. What is it about?
I don't know. He wouldn't say. He said you were here. Have you made your mind up about Patrick Ferrier?
Yes.
And?
No.
I'm glad. Oh, where's Barbara?
She's ridden over to Carfell to visit our old servant there.
I think I'll go and meet her.
Oh, it's a very long ride, Daniel.
I want to get out into the air. As I was coming up from the station, I felt as though I hadn't breathed since I left here. I'll go up and change. Brooks?
Yes, Mr. Dan?
Same old Dan.
I forgot to ask him whether the guest your father was bringing was a man or a woman.
What can you hear? Someone coming? It's Michael.
I think it is, Bet.
It's Michael! Oh, my God.
I shouldn't have surprised you.
Come in, Dad. Dan, you remember Mary Peel?
Good afternoon, Mary.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dunn. I'll go and fetch some tea.
I came to meet you and ride home with you.
I don't mind being alone. I ride out here to be free.
But you're not free, are you, Barbara? What's the matter? I didn't bring you anything from Paris. I had to come home quickly. Dad wants us all here. They're coming on Thursday.
Oh, Mary knows all about it. No, we haven't had a quarrel. You can't quarrel with someone who isn't there. Will you go back again?
Yes, I suppose so. I don't like it very much. The French keep birds in cages. What are you going to do? With your life, Barbara? No. If you ever want me to help...
Briggy will tell me what I have to do.
That isn't right. It isn't right. It isn't fair. We could all escape from Briggy, but you... She possesses you more than if you were her own child.
I am. I can't escape from her. She can't escape from me.
It's time to go home. Mum, I'll do that. Yours too, Sarah.
Sarah, run and tell Jim I'm getting supper ready. Thank you, Michael.
Is there anything else I can do for you?
I've been thinking about... Do you think we ought to take on another man to do the milking? Michael?
It's nothing to do with me, is it?
Since Grandma died, it's... Well, Jim won't stay forever.
Has he said anything about going?
No, but he'll go one day, won't he? He'll want to get married. So will Sarah.
Aye. They'll want to get married.
When they meet the right person, Michael. I didn't want what happened about you and Barbara. But I had to tell you what happened, you know that. Then say so.
Aye.
Is she still at the hall?
I don't know. But Jim will go away, you said. And Sarah. And what about me, Mum? Why don't I go away?
Because you live here.
With you.
It's your home.
People leave home, Mum. You left your home.
It wasn't mine. Highbanks Hall wasn't mine. Wolfbur is yours. It is yours, Michael. Your father left it to you, not me. You asked me why Mr. Ferrier stopped calling. Do you want to know what happened? He stopped calling because he found out Wolfbur was yours, not mine. I told him. Oh, I wanted to. I wasn't going to get married. It wasn't anything that mattered to me. Not as much as you.
Mum.
Sit down and eat your supper.
Jim, Sarah, your supper's ready.
So you need never think about going away.
Ah, Briggy, there you are. How are you? Seems we've been away for years. Jenny, here's Miss Brigmore for you. Miss Pearson.
How do you do, Mallen? I trust you will find everything at Highbanks in order. If you excuse me, I'll have your cases taken up to your room.
Right.
I was not informed who was coming. I've put Miss Pearson into the garden room. If you would prefer her in one of the main bedrooms,
I would.
Yes, sir. The books.
Now you know why they call it a brigade. Now I'm going to show you around. I've got Jenny until lunchtime. You can do what you like. Right?
Shall I put Miss Pearson's things in Mrs. Bensham's box?
No.
You look well.
Have you known Mr. Bensham long? You were never acquainted with the late Mrs. Bensham. She was a lady of great courage.
Miss Pearson's father is the owner of Pearson's Mill.
I don't want to sit still. I want to go out. Can I go out?
Please, will you sit down? Behave yourself.
How could she hear you from over there?
Miss Mallen has no hearing. She read my lips. Nothing. Miss Mallen's family lived at Highbanks Hall for 400 years until quite recently.
Kate's been telling me about that Ferrier chap. Can't say I'm sorry. There's a lot you don't know about the world, Briggy.
I don't think this is quite the moment to talk about it.
What do you mean? There's a Jenny. She's going to be one of the family. Come over here, Jenny. I want to make a little announcement. Now, Kate's guessed it already. Be surprised to you, Dan, and Barbara, and you. Jenny and John are engaged to be wed.
Hey, when did all this happen? Well done, John. Hey, may I kiss the bride?
Congratulations, John.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Miss Pearson.
Barbara? Jenny and John are going to be married.
Briggy! Briggy! Miss Brigmore!
Yes, Miss Bensham.
Let's have a talk. It's my fault. Should have written to you first.
You have no obligation to me. I'm just one of the servants in this house.
Well, I'll finish that later. Now, just listen to me for a minute. First off, I'm sorry. I thought I was doing the best thing bringing the family together, but obviously I was wrong. I should have given you time to get over it by yourself.
It's nothing to do with me.
Well, you must have guessed the moment you saw Jenny. Or did you think I was going to marry her?
Yes, I did.
You know naught about being married to someone, do you? You don't forget them in 3 months. Not in 3 years. Not maybe the rest of your life.
Well, I admit it was thoughtless. I didn't want to think of the alternatives. John was virtually engaged to Barbara. You never objected. You even encouraged it. It was the accepted thing.
Why? It was accepted by everyone except John and Barbara. Or do you think I didn't talk to him about it? He said it was no more than a joke between them, and I'm sorry for it.
Well, if your son prefers Miss Pearson to Miss Mallen, of course, there's nothing more to be said.
No?
If Barbara owned a mill, it would be different.
Aye, and if John wasn't in line for a mill and this house, what then? Now, where's the damn port?
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell Brooks.
Oh, look here, Briggy. You know damn well your Barbara's not going to break her heart over it. All right, you wanted this place for it. Well, you've near as damn as got it, but you're not her mother. Now, I'll be coming here a bit more often. I'll this business with Pearson settled. You thought I was going to marry young Jenny. Well, thanks for the compliment, but I'm past marriage. How old was Mallen? How old was he when you were living with him as his mistress? Was he older than me?
How dare you presume? How dare you insult me to suggest that? And you talk about the memory of your wife. It was she that asked me to stay here to keep everything as it was. Is that what you meant? But to keep your house, I have to keep your bed? Oh.
No! Lie telling is all!
Briggy!
Come here, woman! My God!
Briggy! Briggy! Oh, look, don't be upset about John. It's all right. It doesn't matter. Oh, look, I never wanted to marry him. Oh, no. It was only a joke. Briggy! Briggy, please, listen. Look, I love Michael. And you can tell him it's all right now. I can marry him now. I know he loves me. Oh, say I can marry Michael. No. Say I can marry Michael. Oh, Barbara. Don't, please. I know you never wanted to marry John. It was a joke between the two of you. All right, but please don't talk to me anymore about Michael. Why not? What did you say to him? Look, I will marry him, whatever you say. Barbara, I want you to know that everything I've done for you since you were a child has been for your own good. You can never marry Michael because you were both born in the same blood.
We're cousins.
Michael is Thomas Mallen's grandson.
I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Your mother's name was Barbara Farrington.
Farrington? Mm-hmm.
She never married.
She married Robert Mallen. You told me.
You only know what I told you. Now I'm telling you the truth. There never was a Robert Mallen. Your father was Thomas Mallen. Michael's grandfather. You cannot marry Michael. It would be incestuous.
Why didn't you tell me?
Thomas Mallen raped your mother. Oh, my dear, I only tell you to
I
save
don't want
you
to
from
hear.
yourself. He didn't mean it.
I don't want to hear anymore.
He took his own life.
I'd better go in and see her.
Wait here a moment. What were you thinking about just now? I know something's wrong. You were happy about John's engagement.
I wasn't thinking about anything. This place. I was born here. Grew up here. I used to run along that path without thinking.
What happened between you and your cousin?
Nothing.
Barbara? I'm going away soon.
Where?
France.
You didn't like it?
It was either that or the mill.
I'd go away.
I don't like leaving you. When we were children...
Oh, no, Dan. Everything's changed.
Plus ça change, plus c'est la même chose. That's French.
I thought you'd gone mad.
The more things change, the more they stay the same.
You have. My father lived there. I didn't know him. Or my mother. Oh, don't look so... Look, are you going to come in and see Mary Peel?
No.
Then you can ride back home alone.
Barbara, I know you think, well, not much of me. But if there's anything
I do, Dan. I do. But I need to be alone.
Come on, boy. Come on.
Barbara! Barbara, pet. Where have you been? Why haven't you come over to see me?
I took some things from her medicine cabinet for your back. I shan't come and see you again.
Here. What's the matter? What's happened now?
Mary, you knew about my father. You must have done. You didn't tell me.
What about your father?
Thomas Mallen!
Oh, no. Oh, please, God, no.
Mary, is it true?
Don't blame me. Don't blame me.
No.
Who let on?
She did.
Why? Don't go. Please don't go. Why did she tell you?
Oh, Mary, you knew I couldn't marry Michael. That's why I shall not come and see you again.
But why can't you marry Michael?
Oh, you know!
What? What?
Thomas Mallen had an illegitimate son called Donald Radlett, who was Michael's father. So we can't be married.
But she didn't tell you the truth of it. Connie married Donald. She made her marry him. But Michael was never his. It was the other one, the fair one she loved. It was Donald's half-brother. Look, Michael's father was Matthew. Yes, Matthew Radlett, not Donald. That's Donald's half-brother. So you can marry him tomorrow if you want.
Is that true?
Yes, it is, pet. Yes, it is.
Does he know?
Of course he doesn't. Connie would sooner die than tell him.
you got for us today, then, eh? Come on. Yes, silly.
God. Oh, God. Yeah. Shall we lift her up? No, man, leave her. If we move her now, she'll bleed to death. I'll go to Allendale.
Yeah, I'll go. I'll get
I'll
the
run
horse.
across the feld quicker than any horse. You saw how it was.
Aye, I saw her.
God. Murdering bitch! that's all I can do for now. I have made her as comfortable as possible. But I should tell you that her condition is critical. Very critical. Still, one never knows. We'll just have to wait for morning and hope. Good night to you both.
What's going to happen to Sarah?
We mustn't hope, Michael. That Mallen girl, she was bound to do something like this. It was in her blood.
Then it's in mine, too.
What do you mean?
You told me about my father. Having the same father as her.
That doesn't mean anything. For God's sake, I don't believe it.
What is it?
I'll soon get rid of her.
Oh, Mom, don't. I'll get rid of her.
Can you see what I'm saying? I think Sarah is going to die. I said Sarah is going to die because of what you did.
Michael, listen. They didn't tell us the truth. They said that we were both descended from Thomas Mallen, but that isn't true.
Look at me! You may have killed Sarah!
Listen, you're not Donald Radley's son. Your real father was his half-brother, Matthew, the fair one.
It isn't true! It isn't true!
They've been lying and lying. They parted us. They've been trying